What's up? It's Robert from Existence First. The background's different, as you probably notice. I'm traveling, but we're still going to talk some philosophy and psychology. Today we're going to talk about feedback, and we're going to get some insights into what that means for personal development. First, feedback. If you hear that word, what images get triggered in your mind? What associations do you have to that word? When I hear feedback, I think of maybe like a teacher, a coach, or a mentor saying things like verbal feedback back to the individual. But wouldn't you also consider feedback to be something like you're running a race, a 5K or a marathon, and you finish the race and they tell you what your time is. So the stopwatch is giving you feedback. In other words, reality, the world, etc. It doesn't have to be a person saying, oh, this was good, this was bad, right? That's evaluative, subjective, but could feedback be objective? Like you ran the race in 3.09 minutes or something like that. And at that moment, my coat's like in the way. And at that moment, the world, the reality becomes our coach, our own coach, right? So the world is now working for us because we are constantly being gifted with feedback, not only from coaches, mentors, teachers, but also from the world around us. I'm sitting in this chair right now and I'm getting feedback from the chair that it is capable of supporting my weight. Insight number 2. Let's take a look at the definition of feedback. Information about reactions to a product, a person's performance of a task, etc., which is used as a basis for improvement. Now, the piece that stands out to me right there is that last one, which is used as a basis for improvement. So when I read that, I thought to myself, well, I like self-improvement. That's who I am. I'm a self-improvement person. I don't like the word junkie, and I thought to myself, for any person who does self-improvement, the word feedback ought to be part of their everyday vocabulary. It's, to me, like no different than a word like standard, right? A word like standard should be part of every person's vocabulary if they're into personal development and working on themselves. But let's take it a step further and try to get to the root of this word. So feedback is made up of feed and back. So feed is like food. If we look up the definition of food, we get this: any nutritious substance that people or animals eat or drink or that plants absorb in order to maintain life and growth. Like in the other definition, the last part of this one was the part that grabbed me. Maintain life and growth. We all know that consuming healthy vegetables and foods is vital to the life process and the growth of our bodies. Now, what if it was the same with feedback? What if feedback is our food for personal growth, for the growth of our spirits and our psyches? What if we thought of feedback as a nutritious substance? And then that leads to the next question, which is, haven't we heard of people who are resistant to feedback, who can't take feedback? I mean, that's a common phrase, right? We hear so-and-so, yeah, they have a hard time taking feedback. Well, that's like someone having a hard time consuming carbs, fats, and proteins. I mean, their body cannot replenish. They're going to not be able to eat, and if they can't eat, their body will waste away. And so some powerful questions to wrap up this video with would be, what feedback has the world been providing to you that you have not been digesting, that you've been, for lack of a better term, vomiting back up or rejecting? And what is that costing us in terms of the nutrients that we're missing out on? If we were to consume that feedback, use the nutrients to build ourselves up, what version of us is right there waiting for us? And last, what is the relevance of feedback to our health? Isn't it important for our health the same way that a healthy diet of food is important for our health? And so when we commit ourselves to a diet and say, I'm going to enjoy these and these foods, which are going to be good for me, I think it makes also a lot of sense to say, I'm going to commit to incorporating feedback from these and these individuals or from these and these activities of mine. And I'm going to take that feedback, absorb it like nutrients, and incorporate it into the next biggest, better, stronger version of myself. Thank you all for watching and listening. If this was helpful, share it with a friend. And until next time, think deeply and put your existence first.